how did you find about our club, please?
Hello everyone. I'm Rakesh. So I got in touch. I got to know about the Toastmasters when I was searching online, and I got in touch with one of the members so that I can join the club. And like earlier mentioned, I can improve my communication skills as well as leadership skills. So I'm looking forward for that, and I want to be a more active participant going forward. So that's how I got in touch, and I'm looking forward for more sessions.
Awesome. Welcome, Rakesh. And our club, please. Tania Khan.
Hello.
Hi, can you hear us? Yep, we can hear you. Hello.
Hello everyone. My name is Tania, and I found out about Toastmasters from my brother. Now maybe it's 2 or 3 years. Like he was insisting me to join this club, but I thought I'm not at public. I'm not good at public speaking, and so I thought maybe I will not perform good. But finally, I joined.
Great. Welcome, Tania.
Thank you.
And Hala Nasser, could you please introduce yourself?
My name is Hala, and I actually had a friend recommend that I join a Toastmaster to help me with my communication skills and presentation skills as well. And it was a quick Google search, and we found it, and I signed up for today.
Great, thank you. Welcome. And Farishta, could you please introduce yourself and let us know how you find about our club, please?
Hello everyone. Sorry to correct you, Midun. My name is Farishte. So
Farishta, sorry.
Yeah, most people get it wrong because it's a different name. But yeah, so I come from a finance and supply chain background in an agrochemical business, and I'm in Dubai since 5 years. So I recently met Ashish, who is here, and he introduced me to the group. So I am joining today.
Great, welcome.
Thank you.
Dilip, could you please introduce yourself and let us know how did you find about our club, please?
Good evening, everyone. My
Good
name is
evening.
Dilip Narayan Bhagat, and I am a member of IK Toastmasters since 1.5 years and acting as a surgeon at arms over there. I'm working with the Star Cement, a group of Ultratech cements from India. I'm here since last 9 years, and I'm handling accounts and finance as a GM finance over here. I'm a chartered accountant by profession. It's nice. I got the link from the UAE Toastmasters group, which is there. So I know Mr. Ashish Saxena from last week's training session of the role players, and I found him interesting of his speech. So I chipped in to know more about DTA, Toastmasters Club.
Great, welcome.
Yeah.
Karima,
Thank you.
could you please introduce yourself and let us know how do you find about our club, please?
Yes, good evening, everyone. I'm Karima.
evening.
I'm the co-founder of Keen Knowledge Academy. We're specialized in languages and cultural awareness. Actually, I wanted to improve my public speaking and presentation skills. And I just looked on the internet. I found Toastmaster and the one which is closer to me. So I approached you, and I would love to help also in any ways all the members.
Great, welcome.
Thank you.
And Della Diouf, could you please introduce yourself?
That is Francisca.
Oh,
This
that is
is,
Francisca.
this is me, this is Francesca. I don't know why it comes up like Della Dio, but yeah.
Awesome, great. So is there any other guests I have missed who wanted to introduce? Great. So today, to lead this meeting forward, we have a very passionate and highly committed Toastmaster, and he's our VP of Education. So let's welcome Toastmaster of the Day, TM Abhinav.
Thank you, President Midun. For the starter, I just started noting down and taking notes, and that was the first time. Usually, it starts with the prepared speech, but with the President's speech today, I took down 5 things which I learned. So thank you for that. And just to correct my President, I'm already married and I'm committed to other things as well. Okay, so good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear friends, and special good evening to the guests we have today, Nabil, Rakesh, Tanya, Farishte, Hala, Dilip, and Karima. A very good evening to all of you. I'll be the host for today. I'm the Toastmaster of the day, as well as the VP Education for this club, JLT Dubai Toastmasters, and we are entering meeting number 96. So before I start, let me give you a brief background because there are a few people who have joined and also a few of the members who have joined recently to our club. So before I was a VP PR of this club last year. And as far as my qualification goes, I was a civil engineer and then I did my MBA from IIM Bangalore. So I am an MBA graduate and I'm working with a retail company. And recently I've moved into their digital transformation wing. As far as my hobbies goes, I love to tell stories through my blogs, YouTube channel, and my Toastmaster speeches. And you would have guessed it right. Today, I'm here to tell you another story. And this is the story which is titled as Journey of a Toastmasters. So as a responsible VP education, I have to tell you what a pathway looks like, but I want to tell you in a form of a story. So that's what this meeting will be going forward. Okay, so before we start, let me recall what we did last meeting. So Toastmaster Happy was the Toastmaster of the day, and we did a short goal setting exercise. Do you guys remember? And in that exercise, I want to ask you how many of you put down pathway or Toastmaster as one of your goals? Can I have a raise of your hand? I can see Devina, I can see Banashri, I can see Happy, Rena, Mindun. Oh wow, so many of you. For sure, I also had that as one of a goal. And we have recently seen Toastmaster Rena complete her complete pathway she completed, and now she's already on to second pathway. So this meeting is also going to be about pathways. And I will also want to raise a toast for Toastmaster Rana. These pathways, anyhow, like when you have entered the Toastmaster, people would have told you that Toastmaster is about leadership, it's about public speaking, it's about personality development. But today I'll be telling you what Toastmaster is also about, apart from these 3 things, right? So let me start my story. 4 months back, COVID happened. Dubai went into lockdown, and many people have suffered because of that. I was one of the victims. My business was almost shut, and I was sent on a long leave. That time, the future looked very bleak. I didn't know what to do. I was anxious, and I was frustrated, and I was I don't know what to do because that's the first time I was out of job. I all the time, because God, because of the God's grace, I've always been doing well in my career, and this is the first time I was like helpless and clueless. So that time I had 3 things in my mind. Where should I find the purpose, a sense of purpose? I was completely lost, like what I'll do next. I wanted to apply for reskilling because that's one thing I understood, that post COVID things won't be the same and we would have to be equipped with new skills. And I also wanted networking because I have spent some time in Dubai, but again, because the situation was so bad and the retail was suffering, I wanted to improve my network. And that's the three things I was searching. So basically, I was looking for some reskilling. I was lacking motivation. I needed a network, and also I needed some kind of sense of purpose. So that was I 4 months back, and I'll let you know what happened in this during this 4 months. But before I go to continue my story, let me start with the meeting. So for the guests tonight, I'll quickly tell you this meeting would be in 3 sections. First, we'll have a prepared speeches. Then we'll have a special session by DTM Rizwan, which is called as Moment of Truth. So this is a special meeting. We have DTM Rizwan, who is an experienced person, and he would be coaching, teaching, and orienting us about this moment of truth. And then that would be followed by a evaluation section. So these are the three main sections we'll be having. Uh, let's start with the role players. For today's meeting, we have the timer for today, Toastmaster Banashri. It's her first meeting as a member, and she is so excited. I can't tell you. We have spent 2 hours discussing how the timers rules are, and I'll hand over the podium to Toastmaster Banashri to explain the timing rule for the meeting. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Abhinav. Friends and guests, I have the pleasure to be the timer for the day. And with the role of the timer, I would be timing the evaluators, the speakers, so that we can continue this meeting on time. With the green card, if you can see the green screen behind me, it is going to indicate that you have reached your time limit, the normal time limit, the minimum time that you need to speak. Don't panic, you still have time, plenty of time to complete your speech. After that, the screen will change to yellow. Once the yellow screen comes up, that says that it's time to summarize, wrap up, finish all your points that you still haven't done, and get ready for the end. Then comes the most important, the red screen. Once the red screen is there, you have to understand that's the time to end your speech. You're just left with 30 seconds to wrap up and finish. This goes for your prepared speech. We have 6 minutes of time. The time limit is divided into 4, 5, and 6. So on the 4th minute, I'll keep the green screen. Once you reach the 5th minute, it will be the yellow screen. And the 6th minute, the red screen will stay till you complete your speech. For the evaluators, it is 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes, and 3 minutes respectively. And for all other facilitators, the length of the speech is already indicated in your agenda. You will not be shown any green or yellow card. It will be straight a red screen to say that, yes, you have reached your time. And I shall be back again with the report, with the times, how much you all have taken. And that's it from my side.
Thank you.
Back to Toastmaster Abhinav.
Thank you, Banashri. That was so diligent of you. Next, we have our counter for the day, Toastmaster Nidin.
Hey, good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guest. And being an accountant for today, my job is to note down the overused words and the crunch words during this entire meeting. The words like and, well, but, so, you know, and the sounds like kind of words, I'll notify. At the end of the meeting, I'll give a detailed report for your reference. Thank you. Over to you, Modi.
Thank you, Nidin. That was wonderful. Next, we have Toastmaster Rehna. Toastmaster Rehna has recently completed her pathway Visionary Communication and is already in completed level 2 today of the next pathway, which is Persuasive Influence. Toastmaster Rehna would do the dual role of Word Master of the Day as well as the grammarian, and I would request her to explain her role for today. Over to you.
Good evening all. Thank you, Toastmaster Abhinav. My role for today is 2 roles. One is of the Word Master. As a Word Master, My role is to introduce a new word or not so common word, and I will encourage the members to use this word throughout the meeting and even after the meeting. I will count the number of usages of this word and give a report. So today's word I selected is pellucid. And the meaning is, it's a clear. The meaning is clear, clear as water, but metaphorically we use in language also when the description is clear, not subject to any misinterpretation, easily understood, lucid, clear in meaning and expression or style, transparent.
Rena, sorry, your slides are not moving.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say the same thing.
Can you see the slides?
The first slide, we are on that word of the day, title slide.
What about now?
No, it's not moving. Maybe you press escape and then we can just see the. No.
But now the sharing is gone. Let me try once again, okay?
Mm-hmm.
How is it now?
We're just waiting here. Has started. No, we can see a black screen now.
Loading.
Let me stop my video. Is it okay now?
No, still black screen.
Okay, I will type the word in the chat window then. So okay. The word is pellucid.
Now we can see.
Yeah, it's visible now.
Yes, easily understood, lucid, clear in meaning, expression or style. And the synonyms are clear, transparent, antonyms, cryptic, enigmatic. Some example, the poem was easy to understand because of its pellucid style. The contract was pellucid and left no confusion about each party's responsibilities. They sat there watching the water of the pellucid stream rush by. So as I mentioned, the physical meaning is the transparent nature of a material, but metaphorically we use to indicate how clear a text or the meaning is. Is anyone would like to try a sentence with this word?
Yes, Rena. You pellucidly described the pellucid word.
Oh, okay, thank you. Thank you. One more. Yes, Banasri.
Even after sending a pellucid message to my husband to get the groceries, he failed.
I can relate to that. Thanks a lot. Okay, so that's it about Wordmaster. And as a grammarian, I will be listening to all the speakers, role players, evaluators carefully and will note down all the good usages of language and any simple mistakes. And I'm not so fluent in language also. So if I commit some mistake, please let me know. I will give you a report after when it is asked for. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rena. Moving ahead, so it's quite obvious that Toastmaster Rena is pellucid in pathways. But let me try to be pellucid in explaining the basics of pathway, how it works. So should we have a quiz, or you want it in the boring way that I'll be telling you and then you will be listening and taking notes? How do you want it to go? Let's have a quiz. So it's a basic question and I just want you to put your answers in the chat box, okay? First of all, how many pathways do we have? That's an easy one, come on. Okay, I got 111, yeah, that's the right answer. How many levels do we have in each pathways? 5. And if I ask you that how many projects do we have approximately in one pathway? No, I said pathway projects. So for example, in level 1, we have 5 projects. So to complete one pathway, how many projects you have to pursue? No, Nandita, it's not 25. It's actually 14 to 16, based on which pathway you have taken. Okay, and okay, that's an easy one. Also, there's an interesting thing which I came to know just now, that as a pathway, once you have enrolled in pathway, you can take any of the level. So it's not that you have to go level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4. You can directly go to level 4, take one elective, do that, and then you can come back to level 1. So that's one thing I didn't knew. And thank you, Toastmaster Rena, to tell me that. Like I said, she's the best mentor for taking up the pathways. So once that has been done, we know about the pathways now. And to tell you, I am been pursuing my pathway, which is called dynamic leadership. This is all about change management, uh, being more assertive, handling conflicts, and I have grown immensely in that area. But that was me. Now it's time for our prepared speech session. And first of all, I'll like to call upon Toastmaster Sophie, who will be evaluating our icebreaker speech for today, given by Toastmaster Francisca. So I'd like to, I'll ask Toastmaster Sophie to read out the objectives for the speech.
Thank you very much, Timothy Abhinav, and I love the theme for this meeting. It's fantastic. So it's my pleasure to be the evaluator for Francesca, TM Francesca, this evening. So Francesca will be looking to complete her icebreaker speech. The aim of the speech is to introduce her as a new member to the club. And the title of her speech is From Italy to the World. She has 5 to 7 minutes to complete this speech, and it's part of her pathway on leadership development. All the best, Francesca.
Thank you.
Toastmaster Francisca, title is Italy to the World. Over to you. All the best.
Thank you very much. Good evening, fellow Toastmaster and dear guests. My name is Francesca, and as a few of you might not be that familiar with my name, I'm more than happy for you to call me Fran. I grew up in a small village in northern Italy. The village was very small. It was approximately 3,000 inhabitants, and is in the Dolomites and is on the border with Austria. The nature there is very, very beautiful. You have very, very high mountains, lots of greens, lots of trees. The air is very pure and the water very pellucid. My childhood was very simple, but I was lucky enough to spend a lot of time outside and enjoy skiing in winter and playing tennis in summer. When I was 17 years old, I wanted to go and study for a year in Germany, doing a so-called high school year abroad. And I spent a year living with a German family and going to a German high school. As a small village girl, living and studying in Germany for me was a very new experience, and when I left Italy, I was very excited for that. I'm a dreamer by nature and fairly always optimistic when I start a new experience. So when I went for my first day to school, I was kind of picturing the first day as with a warm welcome from all my new classmates and my new professor. I soon realized that was not the case. So I remember when I entered the classroom, everybody was looking at me. Nobody really said something particular, and nobody started really any conversation. And it went like that for the first more or less 2 weeks. So nobody was really talking to me, and I felt really lonely, and all my big expectations were destroyed. So I remember I was calling home my parents, and I was crying and overwhelmed by loneliness and sadness. until a day I remember a classmate of mine approached me and he started to make funny jokes about Italy, pizza, ice cream, and so on. I don't recall I found the jokes particularly funny, but at least it helped to break the ice and initiate a conversation. So all of a sudden, then people started to talk to me. I started to talk to people, and I started to be surrounded by. I realized I was surrounded by very, very nice people. So I can tell that in the end, German people can be very, very cold at the very beginning, but in the end they turn out to be very nice. And after that moment when the ice got broken, it was pellucid to me that I was surrounded by very, very nice people. So after surviving my first experience abroad in Germany, I started my international career abroad. So I went to Berlin to complete my master degree. Then I moved to New York to do my internship. Then I came to Dubai in 2008. Then moved to London in 2014, and I came back now to Dubai in January this year, right in time for the lockdown. Now I work. I've been working for 10 years in the oil and gas industry. I truly enjoy human connection, and I've been fascinated by people that can master a good conversation and to catch the attention of an audience. So I soon realized that regardless how good your speech is and how good things you want to share, if your speech is not wrapped up in a way, in a nice way, and is not presented in a very pellucid way, it won't have a strong impact. So, like many of you, I feel that I have a lot of lots to share with the world, even in my small part. And I know that the way that you communicate, it can really make the difference to make your voice get heard. So this is the reason why I joined Toastmasters, the Toastmaster Club, and to have the opportunity to learn, to get a proper structure and proper know-how, and become a little bit more confident in the way that I present my thoughts to the world, and hopefully to make my voice also be heard. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Toastmaster Francisca. Let me make it very pellucid to you. We are a bunch of very talkative guys. So you don't have to fear about like people won't be talking to you. We'll always bother you with something or the other.
Thank you.
Thank you for that speech.
Thank you.
Next, we have Toastmaster Nazib, who will be pursuing his level 1 project 2 speech 1. His pathway he has chosen is persuasive. The pathway he has chosen is persuasive influence. And when I asked him that how is his journey with Toastmaster, he told me that he learned how to become a better listener. I would advise him, if you are married, you already know that. You don't need Toastmasters for becoming a better listener. But anyhow, Toastmaster Nazib would be evaluated by Toastmaster Devina, and I'll ask Devina to please share the objective for his speech.
Thank you, TM Abhinav. And once again, a very warm good evening to everyone. My target speaker, Toastmaster Nazib, will be doing his level 1 P2 speech. The purpose of this project is for him to present a speech on any topic, receive feedback, and then apply the feedback to a second speech. The title of his speech today is Coffee. Over to you, TM Modi.
Thank you, Devina. Now I'll hand over the the screen to Toastmaster Nazib. All the best. Over to you.
Good evening, Toastmasters of the team Abhinav. Am I audible?
Yeah, you're good to go.
Thank you. Have you ever woke up to the wonderful aroma of something brewing in the kitchen? Yes, I'm talking about the smell of a freshly brewed coffee. It is so magical, it can bring you to life and lift you right off of bed. Today, I want to share with you some coffee facts, the good and the bad of coffee. There are varying legends about when coffee was first discovered. However, the widely accepted origin story is that coffee was first discovered in the 15th century in what we know as present-day Yemen or Ethiopia, depending on the source. The story goes that the goat herder noticed how excited his goats became after eating the beans from a coffee plant. Of course, that led to the discovery of this amazing drink that is made up of coffee. By the 16th century, the drink had reached the rest of the Middle East, got popular, spread across to North. Today, coffee is the second largest traded commodity in the world, second only to crude oil. To give you a perspective, everyone knows Starbucks. Starbucks is the largest coffee chain in the world. Starbucks itself have around 28,000 locations in the world, and it employs over 350,000 people. In UAE itself, Starbucks have 122 locations. This is just Starbucks. There are more in the likes of Costa Coffee, Tim Hortons, so on and so forth. Coffee is made of coffee beans, which are grown in different parts of the world. And depending on where it is grown, it has different aroma and flavor. It comes in lots of different varieties, like medium roast, light roast, dark roast, etc. And depending on how it is roasted and how it is prepared, it comes with flavor, different flavors and different benefits to our body. When talking about coffee, we need to talk about who is the largest producer of coffee. Brazil leads the place with over one-third of the coffee production of the world. Vietnam follows in second place and then followed by Colombia. Then those are the suppliers. When talking about the consumers, there is a common perception that America is the largest consumer of coffee. Instead, it was surprising to me to realize that America is only in the 25th place when looking at coffee consumption per person per year. In fact, Finland is the #1 consumer of coffee. It was also surprising to know that our neighbor, Lebanon, is actually at 20th. So Lebanese people consume more coffee than Americans. It was really interesting. Now, one more interesting fact is that there is a particular coffee bean which is sold for over $1,200 per kg. $1,200 per kg for 1 kg of coffee. That is at least $35 per cup. What is this crazy cup of coffee? And it gets even crazier when we know more about this coffee and how it is made. This particular coffee is made in Indonesia and it is called kopi luwak. Kopi luwak is made from partially digested coffee cherries which have been eaten and defecated by a particular animal called Asian palm civet. It gets its particular flavor and aroma from all the digestive acids that was in that particular animal's stomach. For us to spend $35 to $100 on a cup, we must really like our coffee. For many coffee drinkers, the popularity of coffee is given due to the taste of coffee and the stimulating effect of caffeine, right? There are some amazing health benefits to coffee as well as some uh, adverse effects. Let's go to the amazing health benefits first. Caffeine is the primary stimulating factor of coffee. Each cup of coffee, when consumed about an hour before an intense workout, it will give you at least 12% increase in your performance. This is caused by the release of adrenaline, stimulated by caffeine in coffee. Coffee also helps you maintain your weight. The coffee contains magnesium and potassium, which helps body to use up the insulin and thus reducing the craving for sugary foods and snacks. Coffee also helps you stay focused and alert. The recent Harvard study also shows that regular consumption of coffee reduces the risk of premature death. So the benefits I mentioned are based on 1 to 4 cups consumed by a healthy person per day. But coming to the disadvantages. As for all external stimulants, coffee is addictive and can cause withdrawal symptoms. So in the absence of coffee, it can give you a headache or other health issues. Also, it is not advised for a person with hormonal conditions like a thyroid issue to consume a coffee because it can create hormonal imbalance. And it can also cause dehydration. One of the other recent things I came aware of is that for some people, consuming coffee can actually cause them to sleep, right? So depending on people, it can actually cause them to go to sleep rather than help them stay awake. To conclude, coffee has an ability to kick up or give them an energy boost for most of the people. But it is not good for all the people apart from the common notion that it is good for all. So I encourage all you to don't follow the common belief and actually factor in how it actually affects you. And like all external stimulants, limit your consumption and be aware of your health. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Nazim. Now all I can think about is coffee, coffee, coffee. Thanks. So now it's time for the third speaker for today. It's Toastmaster Happy. Toastmaster Happy is pursuing pathway called as innovative planning, which is all about developing a strong connection with his audience. Now, Toastmaster Happy, when I asked him how was his journey of Toastmaster, he said it helped him improve his confidence at multiple levels, which we have all seen, didn't we? So Toastmaster Happy will be evaluated by Toastmaster Ashish, and I'll ask Ashish from his PV to please share the objective of Toastmaster's Happy speech tonight.
Thank you, Toastmaster Abhinav. So Toastmaster Happy is attempting from the manual innovative planning. Just to learn from him, I have changed into this innovative view. So he's attempting Pathways Level 2, Project 2 from innovative planning. The purpose of this project is for the member to practice the skills needed to connect with the unfamiliar audience. Time is 5 to 7 minutes. And the title of his speech is Tough Times Don't Last, Tough People Do. Tough times don't last, tough people do. Toastmaster Happy.
From the opening statements of the TMOD of today, it's pellucid that many of you are going through tough times, isn't it? It's pandemic times. It's quite natural. But you know what? Tough times don't last. Tough people do. It was in 1983. May, my school vacation, I was enjoying with my brother. My father came home and said, you can't go back to your boarding school. In fact, you have to join a government school nearby. I was perplexed. I said, why? You know how an 8th standard kid would react. He said he has lost his business. In fact, he has lost everything. In a layman's language, he lost his shirt. We lost our home, we lost our car. You know, the only consolation was my mother was a school teacher, so her salary made sure there was food on the table. I said, okay, that's the end of it. All my relatives were ridiculing my dad, but my dad was a tough person. He did not give up. He took a small loan from one of his best friends and entered the real estate industry in a small way. 4 years down the line, exactly 1987, we were back. We bought a big house in the heart of the city where we still live. We had all the luxuries back. It was my 21st birthday. I was doing my 3rd year of engineering. And you know, 21, the specialty is your legal age to drink. My dad was pouring me a drink. And while we were drinking, I asked my dad, Papa, how did you do it? And he told me something which is like golden words to me. He said, life is a collection of experiences. The good experiences give you success. The bad experiences give you experience. In every day of your life, God is giving you opportunities, brilliantly disguised in the form of problems and challenges. Go, embrace them, and solve them. So, today, I'm going to give you a few prerequisite qualities to be tough. So let's look at the qualities needed to be tough. Quality number 1, don't worry about the things you cannot change. You know, there are facts and there are problems. Problems, for every problem, there is a solution. By facts, but facts are something that's happened in the past. They cannot be changed. So you have to accept the fact and move forward. Step number 2, step out of your comfort zone. This is very important. When we have tough times, when we have the pandemic time, we cannot do the same thing and expect different results. We need to get out of our comfort zone and stretch ourselves. Number 3, don't let your emotions control your behavior. What it means is you will not react to the situations. You will not react to your emotions. Rather, you will respond, you will stay focused, you will stay calm. Number 4, look for good in any situation. I can tell you, I can speak about 10 minutes on this, but the nutshell is, any bad situation will have something good in it. Look for it, find it, and go forward. And 5th, continue taking action. It's like you can set a goal, but if you don't take an action, that remains on the paper, right? So once you accept there is a tough situation, you need to take actions to move you forward. Now, let me explain or discuss with you how these qualities helped me during this pandemic time. Just like you all, my companies were also facing the big challenges. Slow sales, customers going bankrupt, bad payments. What do? The easiest thing I could have done is reduce the manpower. But then during my last speech, I spoke about level 5 leadership. The beauty of this level 5 leadership was that 80% of my staff are more than 12 years with me. How can I let them go? How can I cut their salaries? Each one of us have our own commitments based on the pays we have been taking. So what I did was we had multiple brainstorming sessions and we came to a formula. For every salesperson, we assigned a back-end office staff and a person from the warehouse. They have to work as a team and find a solution. Look at small orders. Look at customers who can still pay for those small orders. Generate the gross profit that would help to pay their salaries. And I can tell you, this simple formula of involving the employees helped us to tide over the last 6 months and hopefully the coming months. So my dear Toastmasters, my appeal to you is, pandemic is going to stay here, maybe 6 months, maybe 1 year. Tough times are going to be there for them. But let me tell you something. Tough times don't last, but tough people like us can last and will last. Over to you, Toastmaster. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Happy. If JLT Toastmaster was a learning institution, I would say Happy would be the best teacher. He not only gives us this all insights, but he also gives us homework. And that's one thing I have not finished yet. Okay, so just to conclude our prepared speeches, we have the final speaker for today, Toastmaster Nandita, who is pursuing her pathway called leadership development. She said that it helped her understand the blind spots. It made her feel more confident as a speaker, and she's now feeling more positive during this COVID period because she is doing something productive. Toastmaster Nandita would be evaluated by Toastmaster Midun, and I'll request Midun to read out the objective for today's speech. Over to you.
Thank you, TM Abhinav. The purpose of TM Nandita's speech is to identify her primary leadership style. And the purpose of the speech is for the member to share some aspect of her primary leadership style or discuss leadership style in general. The duration of speech is 5 to 7 minutes. All the best.
Thank you, TM Mithun. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. What you focus on actually becomes real. How many of you have actually tasted the drug of being in control and being responsible? How many of you have stood up for your own cause and the people around you? How many of you have donned the hat of a leader? I'm sure most of you would have. Now let me share with you my leadership experiences. Taking you back to the year 2008, I was elected as the National Service Scheme President of my college, wherein it was my duty to help the needy, generate funds. So I had this wonderful opportunity to select my team of friends and juniors to help me with the same. We had a lot of smart initiatives, and we also had accounts to be submitted on a weekly basis. But soon I realized that all I had was a bunch of people in their early 20s who lacked discipline and timeliness in every way. I dreaded the condition to tell them, hey guys, we are not doing this right. And instead, I stepped down my position as a leader. The leader in me and the friend in me was one person here. So from this experience that I learned that my professional space and my personal space can never be one. Then, taking you over to year 2010, when I got my first job, I got this opportunity to work with my manager X, who was a terror and a micromanager of all times. He gave me very less chances to do my work, innovate, or be creative. I was stifled and extremely demotivated. I understood how a manager should never ever be in his life, or a leader rather. And I also understood that he had two good qualities. One was punctuality and the other one was meticulousness. I thought I would invite those from him and go on with my career. His leadership was more of a bureaucratic style. Then comes year 2015. I got my next job and the tryst with the new manager happened. She was a leader who was very cheerful and always gave me options to learn and be creative. She gave me options to do my work with minimum supervision. She barely interfered in my work and also gave me credit for whatever I did right. And she also set me real-life examples from wherein I could learn and move on. I thought, wow, this is the best leader that anybody can ask for. She's perfect. She is that role model. Until my appraisal session came and she gave me a 2/5, saying that I failed to meet her expectations. I was in utter dismay and I asked her, "What happened?" She said, reluctantly, "I tried to put it to your notice that you were not doing right in certain things. But I don't know what happened then. Somehow, the message that she wanted to tell me failed to reach me. Either I took her for granted, or she failed in the most important thing that a leader should possess, that is effective communication and being precise and elusive in sending out the instructions. I decided to take the entire qualities that I loved in her and move on and to work as an effective communicator, which I'm still doing so by being a member of Toastmasters. Then came the year 2018. This was a position wherein I got a chance to deal with a team of 5 people. So I thought of the leadership style of my previous leader. She was more into altruistic, affiliative, creative, and democratic style with traces of innovation into her. I thought, okay, I'll bring that into my style in my current position and try to put it to use. And somehow I was happy that I could prove myself as an energetic, empathetic, creative, and a leader who actually gave her subordinates enough room for doing their work with minimum supervision. I was friendly and affiliative. This I could understand because I had asked for a feedback and they had all answered. So from this, I understood that in those areas I succeeded. But here, the real demon that I had to deal with was conflicts. Yes, in every house, in every area, that is something that you have to deal with. Be it a household, you have to deal with conflicts between the mother-in-law and the daughter-in-law. Or if you are a nuclear family, you have to deal with the conflicts between a husband and a wife or between siblings. It is everywhere. So I thought, this is not leaving me. I have to deal with this in my office too. So I understood, even though I had the assertiveness to bring the people to keep their deliverables on the table right on time, I lacked in my abilities to hold the team as a glue, to be having them work amicably and productively together. So I decided this cannot be done. And I took a lot of courses outside my work to improve my conflict management skills. And I also tried to build up team building activities so that the team would bond outside the work so that they would perform productively and amicably in the office. I understood dealing with people is a great skill that I had to up my ante on, and I'll be keeping on doing it. So my leadership style is predominantly of the coaching style with traces of pace setting and innovative style. But in future, if ever I get a chance to lead a team, I would be trying to be a potpourri of altruistic, affiliative, democratic, innovative, and pace setting styles. However, I will have to tweak it according to the team members that I have. If I have a very resourceful and knowledgeable team, then I can put my coaching style on mute mode and I can come out as a more democratic and an innovative leader. Likewise, I would do so in various other situations as well. So, development and upliftment of people is the highest calling of leadership. I urge you guys, let's all taste the magic potion of leadership. Let's all be leaders who lead than bosses who merely drive. To do great things is difficult, but to command great things is even more difficult. Thank you all. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Nandita. That was indeed a wonderful speech on leadership. Now I'll call upon the timer for today to read out the timer's report on all the 4 speeches. Toastmaster Banashri.
Thank you, Abhinav. Thank you, Toastmasters. Yes, Francisca was, she took 4 minutes, 50 seconds. Nazib, Toastmaster Nazib, he took 6 minutes, 53 seconds. Toastmaster Happy, 6 minutes, 59 seconds. And Toastmaster Nandita, she took 7 minutes. All of you were well inside the time limit. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Toastmaster Banashri. I have put in the link for the polling of best speaker. Please note, only Toastmasters can vote for this best speaker, and you may do so in next 10 seconds. Okay. So moving on with the second session. Before that, like I told you, I'm good with storytelling. So here's a quick one. A few days back, I was traveling to Dubai on Dubai Metro, and I overheard a stranger calling some lady on a phone, and the conversation was like this. So the stranger was requesting rather, to give him a job of a cook, and he was saying that I could work for half the salary quoted, and I could do all the cuisines. But the lady on the other side of the phone, she was adamant, and she said that I already have a cook, and I'm satisfied with her service, and I don't want to discuss any further. So this gentleman, he said that why don't you take me for like a week, take me avail my service for free, and if you still don't want to replace the existing cook, I'll be happy, and you don't have to pay me for the 1 week of service. So the lady, she still didn't budge, and she said that no, I don't want any offers. I'm still very satisfied with my cook, and thank you so much, as in no thanks. So he kept the phone, and then I was kind of empathetic, and I said, if you are so desperate for work, I could help you with it. So the stranger turned to me and he said, actually, I don't want the job. I said that, why were you pleading so much to that lady? He said, actually, I am the cook she was talking about. I just wanted to check whether she's happy with my service or not. So that's the moment of truth. Today, we have our esteemed guest DTM Rizwan with us. He is a passionate Toastmaster who started his Toastmaster journey back in 2012. He is the part of founding team of JLT Dubai Toastmaster, and he has served as a club sponsor and mentor during the first year of formation back in 2017. He has been living in Dubai for last 13 years and currently working as a CFO in a leading multinational company. Today, he is here and he'll be delivering an orientation cum training session on moment of truth for the benefit of our members as well as the guests. So I'll hand over the screen to DTM Rizwan. Over to you. DTM Rizwan, your voice is not audible.
Good evening.
Yeah, perfect. Good evening, Toast.
Good evening, TMOD, Abhinav. Good evening, members. Good evening, guests. Thank you very much for having me here. It's been a while. I've been away from the club. I'm very much looking forward to this orientation session, and also would like some inputs from all of you guys as we go along. So we'll keep it a bit of an engaging session, then more of an instruction session, which none of us like actually, right? Now, thanks for a very exciting introduction, Abhinav. Thank you very much. I would start with a bit of an intro to this orientation session for the benefit of the members, as well as all the guests. Now, most of us can relate to this when I say that people are attracted to Toastmasters because they see the opportunities to learn and grow in a very friendly environment. At least, this was exactly why I joined Toastmasters 8 years back. And over those 8 years of phenomenal experience, I've actually observed that in order to attract, retain, and motivate members in a club, there is a lot that needs to be done by all the members of that club. It is not just the ExCom, not just the president, not just the VP education or the VP membership or the other ExCom members. It is the responsibility of every member in a club to give that exciting environment to the fellow members. Now, the reason is, we know it very well that we learn when we engage, and when we achieve our goals, reason of joining Toastmasters. Some are here to be the best speakers, some are here to be the best leaders, and some are here to be the both. Now, we all know that those experiences, the goals, the vision that we set for ourselves, we can achieve it very well when the environment is conducive, when the environment is supportive as well. So I think this session is very, very important for all the members as well as the guests, because it is that thread which connects all of us together. Now, in today's session, you all will learn, and I will also learn with you, how can we contribute to a successful club by using certain skills and also following certain standards as per the Toastmasters International guidelines. I hope you guys are ready. Now, I've already, the question of the day is basically, why do people come to Toastmasters? And I may request a couple of enthusiastic guests who are there on the mute. Maybe one of them can just unmute and give us a good reason behind why do people join Toastmasters? Anyone? Any volunteer?
Hello, I'm Rakesh. There are quite a number of reasons that why I wanted to join the Toastmasters. I have been hearing this from many platforms that it is a good way to improve your presentation skills, your leadership skills, and you can improve your personality, because you would be you would be networking with a different audience, different people, and in the process you will identify, like you will set a vision for yourself, and that journey will definitely help you both on the professional as well as on the personal front. So this is the main reason why I intend to join the Toastmasters.
That was excellent, Rakesh, and thank you very much for those reasoning. It all makes sense. I would like one more enthusiast, a guest, to keep it short and sweet and give us a few more reasons about why do people join Toastmasters, or why do they join? Anyone? One more guest?
TM Rizwan, I'll say.
Yes, please.
I miss my friends. I'm going to rejoin.
You're going to rejoin. So I think that's interesting if you give us 3 good reasons why you want to rejoin. 1, 2,
I miss
3.
my friends. I miss my friends. I miss my friends. 3 reasons.
Great. Okay. Thank you very much, Karima. Now, I think whatever you're going to read on the slide now is nothing new to you guys. I think we all are here and we understand we are here to improve public speaking, build leadership skills. Someone said friends, networking in a supportive environment, practice writing your own speeches. And also all of this will give you kind of a competitive advantage in the workplace for sure. Yeah. And this all will help you to build a self-confidence and also will give you self-awareness. So these are the overarching guidelines that we have from Toastmasters International of why most people, they come to Toastmasters for, right? Now, the other important question which leads into the presentation is, why do people leave Toastmasters? And here I would request a couple of experienced members from the JLT Dubai Toastmasters Club, in no order, anyone from the XCOM or from the club, if they can give us short, sweet 2 or 3 reasons.
I think this is Ashish here as one. I think one of the reason is that when they feel that their needs are not met, they leave. And when they feel that they are not motivated, that's another reason that they leave.
Excellent. Very well summarized. Nicely said. One more volunteer from the experienced group to add.
I'm Rehna here.
Yes, Rehna.
Another reason is relocation. As you know, we have a multicultural young gang. So they used to relocate their job location from Dubai to somewhere else, or somewhere else in Dubai itself from the JLT.
Absolutely. That's all true. So whatever Ashish and Rana said, that's exactly some of the reasons why people who have joined Toastmasters, they eventually leave Toastmaster, which is not a very good thing to hear. But there are some statistics I'm sharing with you guys on screen. And these statistics are published by Toastmasters International. They are refreshed every second, third year. And this is just a placeholder for your thought. So you guys can actually reflect upon why do people leave Toastmasters, and some of the reasons that Ashish and Raina mentioned are kind of lumped up in one of the pies out there. The reality is basically that 9% of the members, they go to other clubs on recommendation because they're told the other club is doing better, it is much more supportive, you know, the meeting location is on a nice place, they serve nice coffee during break and some sandwiches also with that. So there's also good evaluators there as well. And then guess what, the meeting is on time, you know, you don't have to stay late. So there are recommendations from other people who actually, you know, pull people to other clubs. Then there are some people like me, finance persons, who are looking for a cheaper option. So they find a cheaper club elsewhere, and 9% people, they go to another cheaper club elsewhere. Then 10% are dissatisfied because of the club environment. Some people they meet, they're not happy with. And 68% people, they go elsewhere. And that's a big chunk, which we're not discussing today, because people, like all of us 24, 25 participants on this call, we generally believe in Toastmasters. We believe it will work. Yeah. But the reality is not many people who join, they believe that quickly enough, and then they leave. So they come in, they shop around, and then they leave. They need to stick on for a while. And unfortunately, 1% of the statistics say that, you know, people die as well. That's something, you know, it's natural. So this is, again, only to be seen in context of a framework to help you put your thoughts together. And the idea behind this presentation is, you know, when somebody is joining Toastmaster with those passions and those objectives, then as a club, as esteemed members and XCOM, our responsibility is to make sure we provide an environment where people actually find difficult to leave the club, you know, and that is also going to help you when you have good speakers and good evaluators in your own club. So it's kind of a win-win situation out there. Now, one more important thing, right? Every 6 months or 12 months, depending upon your membership renewal status of the club, everybody is given a chance to renew membership. Yeah. Now, some people, they renew like good members and some don't. And those people who do not renew their membership are part of this pie somewhere. Yeah. Now, as per also statistics of Toastmasters, an average length of a Toastmaster member is 2.5 years. Yeah. And that is why, because of the 68%. Yeah. And the objective of this session is basically now to talk about how can we make this club, and actually all the clubs where we can experience this moments of truths, you know, performing in a way that people find it actually hard to leave the club, and actually the club thrives with the members. So what is the moments of truth? To put it simply, as per Toastmasters International, it is an episode where a person comes in contact with any aspect of Toastmasters experience and forms an impression about the club quality and service, right? Right from the very beginning, as we have got quite a few guests on this call right now, there might be certain experiences and impressions they'll make from this meeting, which will help them to come back and hook on with this club and join the club and carry on with their journey. And unfortunately, there could also be some experiences with some members which are not good enough, which actually turn them around. So I think it's important for all of us to understand what are these experienced guidelines on moments of truth that we all as members need to keep in our mind to make our club the best club in Dubai and then in the world. Yeah. So what are the Toastmasters moment of truth? I'll just list it out there for your quick reference. There are 6 pillars. The first one is first impressions. I'll explain that in a while. The second one is memberships orientation, fellowship, variety, and communication. We'll talk about that. Program planning and meeting organization, membership strength of the club, and achievement recognition phenomena. So these are the 6 principles which actually we will deep dive now one by one. First impression. It's very, very important that we understand that the first impression, as someone says, the last impression, sometimes, it carries a lot of weight for any person to be coming back to Toastmasters, not just once, not just twice, again and again. Yeah. So all these first impressions, right from the beginning of the first meeting of a guest and a member till all the way in succeeding meetings, are equally important. They need to be reflected upon every meeting. Yeah. The first one being the meeting location should be convenient. Now that's in reference to a physical meeting when we used to have it, and we will have it going forward as well, hopefully one day. So if the meeting location is not convenient for people to come and park and then, very convincing to join the club. Then if the meeting room is not professionally arranged, again, an aspect of physical meeting, it will put some members off and the guests as well. If the guests are not given a guest book to sign off and make their presence noted, which is very, very important, and also given names tag, they feel kind of a bit eluded. So that's why the best practice in a club environment is, we should have a guest book of the guest. We should recognize them, give them name tags to really let them associate with the club and build a very good first impression. Are the guests greeted warmly? And are they introduced to the officers and members? It's very, very important, because if you let guests be there in a meeting and don't greet them and don't engage with them, it's very likely that you won't see them again. But I hope we see all of our guests again. Then guests should be given a chance to address the members, and the guests should be invited to join eventually the club. So these are the kind of rhetoric first impressions that the Toastmaster guidelines give all of us that we should keep in mind to really make sure that we understand that we maintain the club first impressions to a very good and nice level. Yeah. Now, that being said, the other pillar of Moments of Truth is membership orientation. Now, what does it mean? Orientation in this scenario is, to put it simply, is a formal introduction for a guest when it becomes a member. What is Toastmaster? What is Pathways, which I think was explained very well in the beginning. Then they should be assigned a mentor so that they know exactly what path they're following, what are their goals, and they can actually be coached by an experienced Toastmaster member. Then their learning needs to be assessed, because like I said, it is not essential that everybody comes to Toastmasters to be the DTM, to be the competent communicator, competent leader, do pathways, and some people come in to experience something else. Yeah. So it's very, very important that the XCOM specifically, understands the learning needs of all the members and address them accordingly. Education programs should be held very frequently. This is one such example of an education program for the new members and the guests as well, which helps them to really connect to various aspects of Toastmasters and engage them. Speaking roles should be assigned. Now, it's very, very imperative that people who joined the Toastmaster Club, sometimes they're reluctant. They are pushed to join, but they're reluctant to speak up for themselves. And then, they are coming meeting on meeting, but they're doing not any roles. So important aspect for all the members and all the XCOM members is to encourage them to take up the roles to push them on the path of their achievement of CCCL, whatever pathways they have followed up. And then ultimately, there are club activities, social activities, formal club activities, contests. The members should be all involved in those activities, and they are not should be left to a certain group of people, 4 or 5, who are running the show, and then the others, they actually, left out. So basically, this is all about orienting a member from start to the end to really engage them and have an experience of a lifetime for them with the club. The third pillar of Toastmaster Moment of Truth is basically for all of us to reflect upon is there needs to be a fellowship variety in communication. And what that means is the guests should be greeted warmly. That's very, very important. I think something JLT Club does very well. I am witness to that for years. I think something we do very well, but we should keep on doing this. Then the meeting should be educational, yet enjoyable. The club should have regular social events. I think something we do also very well in JLT clubs, like the picnics, the contests, and all those things. Then the club should encourage the members to participate in area and international events, be it contests or trainings. There should be a sense of encouragement from all the ExCom as well as all the members to push one another to participate in those events. Then inter-club events, be it joint meetings, be it inter-club contests, there should also be an urge from each member to join and also pull along some other fellow members to really make it an exciting experience for everyone in the club. And of course, social media is very important. So a club newsletter and a website needs to be there, needs to be engaging, needs to be updating regularly. And that is something which also creates very positive vibes about the club and the members and really help them to stick on for a longer duration. Who remembers this, this event? Anyone? So I got to see some thumbs up there. Excellent. So that's I've taken some glimpse of some pictures from my archive of events that we have been doing in JLT Club Toastmasters, and it's just a reflection to show you guys that you are on the right track. So while I'm educating you and sharing with you and also educating myself with you of what we need to do, I'm also cherishing that we do those picnics, we do those anniversaries, and we enjoy those nice cakes as we've done in the past, which is all great. And you guys need to keep doing those events and social gatherings, yeah? Now, the fourth important pillar of Moments of Truth of Toastmasters is the planning and organization. Now, what is planning and organization in this setup? The agenda for a meeting should be prepared in advance and should be shared in advance, which is, I think, something you guys do also exceptionally well. So please keep doing it. The members are fully prepared with their roles and assignments. The projects are all from the manual projects. So we are not following some other outlines of speeches. We follow the projects. We have a very set start and finish time of the meeting. We do engage in creative table topics and activities. So don't make it boring with the stereotype table topics. There are new topics, there are new sessions and experiences being conducted in the club, which excites the members. And the evaluations, they are helpful and they are positive, very, very important. I think it's something for all of us because we all would be evaluators one day in certain capacity. It's very, very important that we should always keep in mind that the objective evaluation should always be to encourage the member to improve, not to really push them back down in kind of motivation in a way that they don't feel that they can overcome those challenges. So be constructive, give good feedback, be just, be honest. At the same time, try to be positive as well to make sure that the person comes back to Toastmasters, doesn't run away from those harsh evaluations. I think it's very, very important. Membership strength. Now, there is no set pattern of how many members a club should have, but generally 20 or more is considered a reasonable, healthy count of any club. Yeah. How many club members we have in JLT Toastmasters Club?
36 right now.
36. So that's amazing. Yeah. Now, as per the guidelines, if a club's strength of members fall below 12, it's very alarming, which means you don't have sufficient role players, people are not turning up to Toastmasters, and you really feel that something needs to be done. But for a club like JLT Club with 36 members, I think it's a healthy membership roster. And the idea is we need to keep continuing in terms of attracting more members and retaining them. Now, like I just mentioned, right, important point is to attract new members, which is important. At the same time, retain the existing members, yeah, which is also part of your membership strength count for a healthy club environment. And to attract new members, the guidelines also about promoting your club in an organization or a community. So there are many social events, there are social portals, and also there are other marketing activities that the club can do through VP membership and VP education and president and other XCOM members. You should encourage doing that to attract more members. And the club programs should be not kind of standardized from meeting to meeting. There needs to be some sort of adjustments. Like today we have a moment of truth session, and then sometimes you can add something else to the club meetings. These are all the experiences which makes it exciting for the members, and definitely they want to come back. Toastmasters sponsoring new members are recognized, and then there is regular membership building program. So they think this pillar 5 is all about making sure you have enough strength of members, the clubs through different means. The 6th and the last pillar of the moments of truth, which really is a gauge for a healthy club, is basically the fact that whenever somebody in the Toastmaster club is completing a certain milestone on the pathways, then their award application to recognize their achievement is submitted immediately, so the person feels important and valued. And the progress of the club in terms of who has done what they've achieved and how they've excelled should be displayed, shared through social media, electronic media, email, and physical meetings displayed, so that actually people can see the progress of the club, especially new guests who are coming. They can see how people are progressing towards different projects and how quickly they're marching towards their goals. That really encourages them to participate in that momentum. Very important one, if a certain member have achieved a certain milestone in a pathways, that should be recognized through a ceremony, through encouragement, through a note from the president and the club members to encourage the members. I think you guys are doing very well, but something we should keep doing going forward. The club, district, and international leaders are recognized. That's another important element of recognition. Club and member achievements are publicized. You know, the more you publicize someone's achievement, right, more likely you're going to see them again, yeah? The more you're going to encourage people on their achievements is something which is, I think, human nature is going to attract them back towards the club. And then finally, with all of these things, there is a DCP plan for each club, which is the Distinguished Club Program, to really gauge the clubs who are doing the best in the area and the district. Then the club use those DCP targets for planning and recognition of the members. I think some of the guests might be feeling it difficult to decode these things, but you have to be a member of the club to decode these things, yeah? I'll leave it to you there. Now, I just spoke about very quickly 6 pillars of moments of truth. I think you don't have to memorize everything, because everything I just passed through very quickly with you, I'm sure all of you know this already. It's probably in different part of your mind in different segments. There's nothing new I've told you. I've just related them in a way that you probably need to reflect upon. These 6 principles, these 6 gauges, they need to be reflected upon to really make your club the special and the best among others. But the question is right now, to all of you, all the members of JLT Toastmasters Club, what do you think with those 6 pillars and all the details we spoke about? How do you see yourself? How do you see your club? Where do you rate your club? How is your club? Do you meet the standards? We have someone from XCOM there to take that question up. Does your club meet the standards?
Yes, we do.
You do. And if I have to ask you to rate yourself, your club, from 1 being not the best and 10 being the best, where do you see yourself, Midhan, 1 to 10?
Of course.
How much you meet the standards?
I can easily say between 9 and 10.
Excellent. And you know what, to support Midhan, I will also say I've been part of the founding team of the JLT Toastmasters Club, the Dubai Toastmasters Club, since 2017. And I can tell you with all honesty, if not 10, certainly 9, the JLT Club has a vibe, has a passionate XCOM and vibrant members. You guys, you know, on a scale, what we spoke about on 6, you know, you take a lot of boxes, and I do it very regularly. So you are one of the exceptional clubs in the area and the district who are doing it very well. However, there is always a room for
Improvement.
improvement. Exactly. So you might be 9, Midhan, but you need to be 10. Yeah. How you can be 10? Now answer this question. How can you score 10? What do you need to do?
We have to be best at all the 6 things that you have mentioned about. And
Okay, I need one more volunteer. I'm trying to let you guys answer my question so that I don't have to say it myself. How can we be 10 on 10? Anyone?
Can I try?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, I think first we need to identify the gaps. Where are we lagging in all those parameters? By doing some survey or some questionnaire, we can discuss it internally. Once we identify where are the areas of improvement, we can work on it together, and maybe that's the right way to go forward.
So this was not a planted question, and we did not rehearse for this, but you have struck the chord. Abhinav, you've said the right thing, yeah? So to really score 10 on 10 and be the best club, what you guys need to do is really carry out a survey and understand what other members, what guests and new members, experienced members, they feel about the club. Do we have good membership strength? Do we recognize other members? You know, do we do all those nice things for an excellent club? And the best thing to do that would be to carry out a moment of truth survey. Yeah, the survey will go out to all the members. There would be discrete responses, and all of you guys will give feedback, and you will give us the truth that lies below the surface, so that actually we can make this club even better club going forward. So on that note, I would just close my session saying that there is a survey coming up very shortly. Details would be shared with you by the XCOM team members in this session, whereby each one of you would be asked different set of questions on the 6 pillars we just spoke about, you know, your own experience about the club. And that feedback will definitely help JLT, Dubai Toastmasters Club, to score it to the 10. Yeah. With that being said, I would just say it was a pleasure to be back here after a break. Thank you very much for having me today. If there are any questions, I can take it now, or you guys can tap me separately. Otherwise, from my side, a big thank you.
Thank you, DTM Rizwan. Do we have any questions for DTM Rizwan? Okay. Vanish.
It's not a question. It's something that he asked an answer from all of us. I just had a different view to that. You all said that he said that we should have a survey, and we should find out as per the, you know, having a benchmark, and you compare your feedback along with the benchmark. Now you create the feedback, you create the benchmark. Maybe you're taking data from different people and you're creating that. But my point of view is something else. When he is talking about it, he must be having a vision, what he wants to see the club to be. So that is that enchanting, you know, enchantable factor that the club should have this. So what is his vision? Where is he looking at that 10 will bring in before we create this feedback and the survey?
Okay, thank you for a comment, and I'll just won't say it as a question. I think thank you for saying this, because as rightly said by yourself, feedback from everybody would be different. It would be personal, but then at the same time, the survey that will go out to everybody, and hopefully Abhinav and Midhan, that would also come to me as well. I hope so. Yeah, I'll also fill that feedback and then give my comments to the club, how the club can improve. But to keep it simple for you, yeah, I would say a best club experience can be achieved in an environment where every member of the club, and on this call right now, we've got 26 active members, right? Every member in the club, the moment they believe they are getting value from the club and they are marching towards their objectives, I think that is the time the club should really mark it 10. It's not about the best snacks menu in the break. It's not about the convenient parking location. It's not about bringing 4 DTMs to a meeting and making it a big show. It's not about that. It's all about how the club members who are spending 2 hours in every meeting, how they feel the value add to them, right? So it's very, very important that my vision is my vision, and I really want all of you guys to be DTMs. I want all of you guys to be the perfect speakers and the best leaders in the discipline that you can be. But I'm very sure you'll be surprised, because in my 8 year of Toastmasters, I've been twice VP Education, I've been twice VP Membership, I've been once Treasurer, and I've actually spoken to people. Not everybody has got the same objective. You'll be surprised. Some people just have a different perspective of why they come to Toastmasters. So I think important thing is to get the feedback, know what people are looking from that club. And while we are trying to march towards Toastmasters goals as the best club in DCP points 10 on 10, we also attend to individuals' needs and their requirements, so that we don't lose you, we don't lose the 25 members who are on the call right now, and we actually keep a healthy growth of the members going forward.
Thank you,
Survey
DTM.
is important. Sorry, last comment from my side, and no more questions. I think survey is very important. Don't let it pass to your junk. Don't delete it. Don't think it's a waste of time, and don't think it's not for you. I think it's for everyone on this call at least, and the ones who could not join, all the members. It's very, very important that you spit out your heart, you spit your heart out, and you exactly tell the club executive what they're doing good and what they're not doing good as it relates to you. And then they're going to collate all the feedback, and they're going to make sure they provide the best experience to all of us. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, DTM Rizwan. I think I don't have anything to add, just the survey. So I'll be putting the link of the survey in the chat box right now. Here's the link. And I'll be sharing the same survey link. I'll just double check whether I have put it. Yeah, and the same survey link would be shared in the WhatsApp group, the main group, so that everyone, all the other members who are not attending this meeting could also fill it up. And we'll give 3-4 days for, and then we'll collate, and then we'll internally discuss what would be the way going forward. Thank you for that session, DTM Rizwan. It was wonderful having you back. And the way you showed the pictures from our physical meeting, my heart just skipped this, like all those meetings, the snacks and those parties we had was wonderful. Inshallah, we'll have it soon, the physical meetings. So that was section number 2 of this meeting. Now let's move forward to the last section of today's, the evaluation. And so before we, okay, let's call upon the first evaluator for today, Toastmaster Sophie. Toastmaster Sophie has been recently joined our gang, and she's also a very active member of our VPPR team. She's already handling the social media for us. And when I asked her how's the Toastmaster journey for her, she said that it's been a whirlwind. It has helped her to build the confidence and exercise public speaking muscle and learn the continuous journey. And there has been something new to learn and improve along the way. So over to you, Toastmaster Sophie.
Thank you very much, Timothy Abhinav. Not so new anymore. I think it's almost 8 months, maybe a year even. I'm not sure, I can't remember. So let me start with my evaluation. Che bel discorso, Francesca. There's something about an Italian accent, dear Toastmasters, wouldn't you agree? I thought it was a fantastic icebreaker. It plunged us straight into the background, Francesca's background and her childhood in Italy. I loved how you set the scene, Francesca, and how you started by easing us into the relationship with you by saying things like, you can call me Fran. I felt it really brought the audience closer to you. It made it feel casual and friendly, and it built a connection with us, which I really loved. I felt you were comfortable throughout, And I liked how you personalized the speech and you let us into your world and told us what you love. You talked about human connection and conversation and the things that were important to you. I also thought that you were very clear and very structured. And I was very impressed by your use of the word pellucid, not once, not twice, but 3 times. For a very first speech with Toastmasters, that's very, very impressive. Well done. I also thought you had good audience awareness. You could pick up on our reactions when we were smiling, when people were laughing at some of your jokes. So very good audience awareness. I commend you for that. I quite liked the humor in your speech. And as we got to know you and your journey of moving from Italy and then through to Germany, how you kind of poked fun at the Germans and helped all of us to connect with that international child that's had to move around and move to different countries. And it's personally been a very similar journey to mine, so I instantly connected with that. A few small things that I think could be good work-ons for future speeches include things like, I noticed your use of "a" as a filler at times, which is a very normal word to use in your early speeches, and it's something that we're all working on improving and trying to get rid of. It's quite difficult. It doesn't come very quickly, but it's a good work-on to have. I also would have loved to see a little bit more vocal variety. So when you were talking about your move from Italy to a new country, to Germany, and how excited you were, I would have loved to hear your voice maybe rise to take us with you on that excitement. And then when you were talking about getting to school in Germany and how none of the kids came to speak to you, maybe you could have employed some pauses or some silences or lowered your voice, just so that we could feel the feelings that you were feeling in that moment and those feelings that you were trying to express. Finally, one last comment. I noticed that you were looking down and up at the script. And again, for a first speech, that's very normal. But as time goes on, that's a good thing to try and work on. Maybe sometimes I try and pin my Post-its to my computer or try and have things that allow me to try and look at the camera a little bit more. But it's a continuous work on. It's hard to get rid of your notes, but it's something to consider. Allora, to conclude, I thought it was a very engaging, warm and friendly icebreaker. I felt that we understood you and your journey to Toastmasters and why you want to be part of Toastmasters today. I thought you concluded with that very strong goal at the end. And I'd love to say that you've come to the right place and that your voice will be heard here. So welcome to the club, Francesca.
Thank you,
Thank you so
Toastmaster
much.
Sophie.
Thank you so much. Thank you for this fantastic feedback. I'm very honored.
Lovely. Thank you, Toastmaster Sophie. And now we have Toastmaster Devina. She is pursuing her pathway known as visionary communication. And she said that the Toastmaster journey has helped her convey her thoughts in a better way and understanding audience in a better way. So I'd like to invite Toastmaster Devina to evaluate Toastmaster Nazir. Over to you.
Thank you, TM Modi Abhinav. A very warm good evening once again to everyone, and especially to my target speaker, Toastmaster Nazir. The title of your speech was Coffee, and I am sure all of us would have related to it. Be it working from home or be it working from office, we all love a cup of coffees. So the moment you started, I was like, wow, so maybe I'm not drinking my cup of coffee right now, but then the way you spoke, I was like, okay, I am drinking a coffee right after the speech is over. So just like a coin has 2 sides, every speech also has 2 sides. One is the good side, which we learn from you, and the other is the opportunities for improvement, which you and we learn together. So I will first start by the good sides, which you showed us today. You had a very, very good opening. The moment you said, who doesn't love the smell of a good brewed coffee, I could actually smell it. And I actually wanted a cup of coffee right at that moment. Then you went on to explain the facts. You actually explained the timeline of the coffee. When was coffee discovered? Who is the largest producer of the coffee? Who is the largest exporter? And who is also the largest consumer? These facts will help not just you, me, but in fact, everybody when we drink a cup of coffee next time. And we can say, oh, this is Brazilian cup of coffee, or this comes from Cambodia. We now know it, who produces the most coffee. Then you backed it up by good and the negative sides of coffee. You first portrayed the good sides, then the negative. And then you went on to also add on that not necessarily the good side will be good for everyone and the negative will be negative for everyone. So overall, your speech had a very good structure. You concluded very well again. So you started with a good opening, a good body, and a good conclusion. But as they say, there are always some opportunities for improvement. So certain things which all of us can improve upon are pauses and pitch variation. I felt that you could have paused in between, especially when you said that a per kg coffee cost $120. Maybe you could have paused there and you could have, raised your pitch a bit and asked it more like a question or more like, $120. So you could have had that pitch variation and you could have paused there for every one of us to absorb. Second, what I felt that since we are doing online meetings right now, movement is restricted, but we can use our hands. So maybe you could have used your hands a bit, or maybe you could have used your gestures a bit, your facial expressions that would have helped us receive the message in a more better manner. So to summarize, the topic was very good. The structure was excellent. And certain point of improvements like pauses, pitch variations, gestures, and facial expressions would help you in taking your speech from excellent to outstanding. I look forward to your next speech. Excellent job, Toastmaster Nazir.
That was wonderful. Toastmaster Devina, thank you for the evaluation. Now I'll call upon the third evaluator for today, Toastmaster Ashish, and I don't have any pathways in front of his name, and that's one of my objective as a VP Education to get him started. He's a wonderful Toastmaster of the day, but the moment he hasn't started his pathways, and we all are waiting for his icebreaker. So over to you, Toastmaster Ashish, evaluating Toastmaster Happy.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day, and good evening all, and my target speaker, Toastmaster Happy. What a fantastic speech, Toastmaster Happy. The topic, tough times don't last, tough people do. I think the topic itself had attraction for all of us. And what I really like about you is that you actually bring topics which you have really worked on those topics then yourself. You're not bringing topic which you have read on the internet or the books that you have read. Most of the topic that you actually bring in with a lot of experience, and that has more impact on the audience because it's your personal story. And I really like that. You clearly, or you precisely described the whole events of your life. You took us through the journey with how you had a story with your father. Then you have the story about what things you have done in your company. Some of the key messages about, changing comfort zone, emotions, actions. I think all of these areas, it seemed like that you have already used these areas in your life, and from that perspective, you're sharing this. So it's very useful for all of us to keep learning on that. Now, a couple of suggestions, Toastmaster Happy, that I have for you is, one is, and I would just slightly describe it, like it's very important to keep the body language in sync with your speech. So and I think it could be also because of your profile as CEO, you are mostly like, in terms of giving messages which are with more confidence and more in the direction of your organization. But when you're actually giving a message, for example, when you were 21 years old, when you were talking to your father, like, how did you do that? And you could probably give a suggestion, and your father replied with authority. Life is combination of experiences. If you modulate that, we would be able to create those pictures. Some of the other things, like for example, when you talked about small loan, it could have been small loan. It's instead of like my company, it's like my company. When you use the gestures along with your message, it creates a stronger picture. I think that was the only area where I think you could actually implement in your next speeches, align your body language with what the message that you have. And what I really also liked is you ended your speech with call for action. You connected the dots and you went back to the title of your speech, that tough times don't last, tough people do. And you ended with that title with a call to action, which is always a great way of closing the speech. So I think great stories, great motivational messages, your own personal story brings a lot of strength in your message. Adding, using body language in accordance with your message would further enhance your speech in future. All the best for your next speech. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ashish. Now to wrap up the evaluation session, I'll call upon the final evaluator for today, Toastmaster Midun. And our president, Toastmaster Midun, is currently pursuing his pathway called a strategic relationship. And with this pathway, he has clearly worked upon his communication and leadership. So I'll call upon Toastmaster Midun to evaluate Toastmaster Nandita. Over to you.
Thank you, TM Abhinav. And good evening, Toastmasters and dear guests. Special good evening to my target speaker, TM Nandita. A great, very well done speech. Highly energetic and highly structured. What I like the most about is that your confidence on the stage. So when you started the speech, you were 100% confident that you know the complete content of your speech and you know how to prepare. Also, you were very well prepared with your gestures on where to use what. For example, when you said you are a leader and a friend, and it was same one in me, you have given some awesome gestures like this. And you have used your hands to represent a lot of your stories. Okay. So what I like the most is the confidence, because I'm sure that you have spent so many hours in preparing your speech, and very well done with the preparations. And one small suggestion I have is for you is to include some pauses. So you were very confident, you were delivering the speech in such a way that you know in and out of your content, very well done. But if you could include some small pauses in your speech, you can identify some of the places you can include some pauses. It will create some curiosity in the audience. For example, when you have introduced your new boss, you can say that surprisingly something has happened. Then you can give a small pause, and then you can introduce the new boss you have got. Just like that, if you can include some pauses in your speech, it would be a little more better than now. What I like the other part of your speech is you have did a big, huge research on your personal incidents. That's something which I really liked about, because personal stories are something which every audience will be eager to listen to. For example, instead of going to internet and search for something related to the leadership styles, you have did your life. You did a research on your life, and you have picked up some absolute contents that you can relate to the project that you have to deliver, and you have delivered it in an awesome way. Okay. And structure of the speech as well. You have a very good ability to write a speech in a very good way. Okay. And you have got a great structure for the content. So in summary, great structure of the speech, very confident with your content, very well prepared, I'm sure about it, and very well clear voice as well. Your voice is very clear, crystal clear, audible to everyone, and can be understandable to everyone as well. And only suggestion I have is to include pauses in your next speech if possible. And all the best. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Midun. Can we have a timers report quickly? Toastmaster Banashri.
Okay. Well spoken, all the evaluators. Sophie has taken 3 minutes and 13 seconds. Devina has taken 2 minutes, 57 seconds. Toastmaster Ashish has taken 3 minutes and 5 seconds. And Toastmaster Midun has taken 3 minutes and 10 seconds. That's the report from my side. Back to you, Toastmaster Abhinav.
So that means all the four evaluators have qualified, and I have put down the list, put down the link for the polling for the best evaluator. I request all of Toastmasters to please go forward and vote for the best evaluator. And I'll give you 10 seconds to do that. And let's call upon our silent load players. So first we'll have Toastmaster Nidin, who was the R counter for today. And Toastmaster Nidin, you may present your report whenever you are ready. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster TMOD, Toastmaster Abhinav. I tried my level best to give a pellucid report as a counter report. So I'll start with the speakers. The icebreaker speaker, Toastmaster Francisca, even if she says it's an icebreaker speech with a beautiful Italian accent, she managed with just 2 hours. That's a good job. Then Toastmaster Nasib, he made a beautiful coffee, and he had 2 hours and 1 actually in between. Toastmaster Happy, again, he was a tough man. I couldn't find anything from his speech. Toastmaster Nantida with 1 hour. And Toastmaster Rizwan, 3 hours during his lengthy speech. Then coming to evaluators, Toastmaster Sophie, 3 arms and 2 hours. Toastmaster Devina, she was again tough woman. I couldn't find anything. Toastmaster Ashish, 2 hours, and Toastmaster Mithun on pause. And our Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Abhinav, 4 hours so far. Thank you so much. Over to you, TMOD.
Thank you, Toastmaster Nidin. And that's a record for me, only 4 hours, that too on the Toastmaster of the day session. Thank you. Thank you for being so diligent and observant. Next, I'd like to call upon the grammarian as well as the word master of the day, Toastmaster Rena.
Thank you, Toastmaster Abhinav. Am I audible?
Yeah, you're crystal clear.
Yeah.
Well said.
Thanks a lot for using my word of the day. Francisca used it 3 times. Well done. That is a record for an icebreaker. Abhinav used it once, Happy once, Nandita once, Ashish once, and Nitin once. And regarding good usages, we had several good quotes today. Step out of your comfort zone. Don't let your emotion control your behavior. Tough times won't last. Tough people do. I will keep this in my mind also. Some words like meticulousness, utter dismay, never negotiate with yourself from our president. Heard skipped a beat from Toastmaster Abhinav. That's all for today. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rena. Now, because of we are running slightly late, I'll just conclude my story, which I started at the beginning of the session. So I told you that I had 3 questions in my mind. I wanted to reskill. I also wanted to connect to people, and also I was lacking the sense of purpose. So that was the 3 things I had in my mind. And I'll quickly share one thing, because I can tell you all the stories, but you would say that why all the magic happens with only you. It doesn't happen with me. Okay. So I'll show you one simple screen, which I think is open in front of you. Can you all see my screen?
Yes.
Get a thumbs up? Yeah. So this is the dynamic leadership curriculum, which I am enrolled to. As you can see, we have 5 levels. The first level is mastering fundamentals. We all know about that. We start with icebreaker, then we have evaluation and feedback, and then researching and present. So level 1 is all about mastering the fundamentals of public speaking. Then we go to level 2, which is learning your style. So here is where we introspect. We get to know our leadership style. We get to know our communication style, as well as we are introduced to Toastmaster mentoring. So this is where I was when while the lockdown happened, and I just completed my level 2. So I came to know about my leadership style. I also came to know about my communication style. And then I started reaching out to mentors. That's when I said I lost the sense of purpose, but then I met people. I could take the names, but it's fine. Like I had counseling done. I have mentors who told me that how things are and how you should be managing this. And after that, when we enter level 3, it's all about increasing knowledge. So if I will actually read out few things for you, you see, you can read, deliver social speeches, focus on positives, connect with your audience, and active listening, effective body language, vocal variety. So this is all about getting those nuances, pretty finesse. So this is all improving on what you have already built. But when we reach level 4, it's about building new skills. And here we have create a podcast, building a social media presence, write a compelling blog, manage online meetings, public relations strategies, and so on and so forth. So this is where I found the treasure. I started my blog and already written 12 blogs. I started putting that on LinkedIn. I started my podcast and actually a YouTube channel wherein I take interviews of new age leaders and on the subjects which I'm very interested on. So digital transformation, digital marketing, in information technology, artificial intelligence, product development. So these are all technical fields which I'm very, very interested in. And I started taking interviews and putting that on LinkedIn and all other medias. And that's when I was a few weeks back, I was called by my HR and they said that there is an opportunity for you. Your current role is already like the business is not working, but we have another role for you, which magic was heading the CRM as well as the e-com business for my existing company. So as I stand now, I'm heading their CRM, their e-com and conventional planning role. And this is all because of I've done in last 4 months. So I have an active blog, I have a YouTube channel, and I am also a part of district PR team. And this is all possible because I I thought like this is the curriculum because I was a VP education. Before that, I didn't know in detail of what all is possible in Toastmaster. But now that I have this treasure with me, I could actually tell you that it's all possible. And like we have a saying in India, once the student is ready, the teacher appears. So that's all from my side. I'll hand over the screen to our president, Midun. And if you have any doubts regarding any of the pathways, then as a VP education, I'm responsible and I'll be excited and interested to help you out. Over to you, Midun. The stage is yours.
Great. Please, everyone, please give a big round of applause to our TM Modi. Abhinav. As expected, it was an awesome job. Many pellucid messages from your own life. And I'm sure that you have spent so much of time to prepare for this TM Modi role. And very well done. Awesome job, TM Abhinav. Good job. And it was great to have DTM Raswan today with us because when I joined Toastmasters in sometime in 2017, Raswan was someone who was very motivational. I'm not sure whether he still remember that. Just after my icebreaker speech, he was someone who came to me and said so many motivational messages, which had kept me motivating to deliver more and more speeches. So it's great to have someone like DTM Raswan in our meeting today. Thanks again, DTM Raswan, for joining us. And great speeches by our prepared speakers, Nazib, Francisca, Nantiga, and Happy. So let's hear from our guests about a feedback about our meeting today. So let's start with guest Minnie. Could you please give us your feedback about our meeting today?
He is Area 25 Director, TM Mini.
Yeah. Still, Minnie, do you have any comments? Okay, I will go to the guest Fariste, do you have any comments on our meeting today?
I would say it was interesting, learning from different people's personal stories, and nice to know so much motivation is within the people, even like during these difficult times, and also hearing a story from Abhinav, how he came out of this time, because I also have some friends who have lost their jobs during this COVID. So I have seen how it changes them. But yeah, it was interesting and nice to know so many people with different stories. Great to be here. Thank you.
Looking forward for you to join our meeting again. Hala, do you have any comments on our meeting? Feedback? Karima, do you have any comments?
Yes, actually, I'm very pleased. It was very well structured. I felt very good energy, and it was also educational. That's what I was looking for. You know, there was the speakers, and then you know, the feedback, and exactly what it should be said to be better. You know, today. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Karima. Rakesh, do you have any comments, feedback?
Yeah, so the very nature, the pellucid structure of the whole meeting is actually quite exciting. And there is a lot to take from meetings like this because of the continuous feedback, the 360-degree feedback is which I really liked. And the scope for improvement is there all the time. So it's quite exciting.
Great, thank you, Rakesh. Looking forward for to join our next meetings. Tanya, any feedback, comments?
It was excellent and well organized. Also, I learned many new things, like I don't knew about the pathways. So I think it will be very useful to join Toastmasters.
Great, thank you for joining us, Tanya.
Thank you.
Any other guests I have missed who wanted to give a feedback or comments about our today's meeting? Great, if not, it's my duty to announce the speakers and the best evaluators based on the feedback, the voting given by our members. So the best speaker, we have Ty. So the best speakers are TM Nantita and TM Happy. Congrats. And the best evaluator is TM Sophie. Congrats, TM Sophie. Good job. So our next meeting will be held next month on the second Sunday, which is 13th of September. So looking forward for everyone to have in our next meeting. With that, I declare the meeting is adjourned. Thanks a lot and good night.
Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Good work, Abhinav, today. Huh? It's very nice.
Thank you, Ashish.
Yeah, it was.
Hi, Tanya.
Tanya.
Yeah, Abhinav, she has joined actually. She has forwarded her membership form to Kiran. So maybe she will be speaking in the table topic session next week as a speaker. Yeah, that is something which we missed today, and time also was running out.
Oh,
yeah.
sorry.
Yeah.
Hey, Abhinav, glad to know your job is safe, mate. Because that's
But nowadays I'm not getting time for my kid or any of the other things. So it's kept me very exciting times.
Yeah.
Nice. How was the meeting, Farishte, for you today? So me and Farishte, we are doing a course online. So I happened to share with her that, Toastmasters is, I'm part of it. And I asked her if she could join. So how was your experience?
And thanks, Ashish, for inviting me to the session. It was nice. Like I said, I learned lots of things from different people. Everyone had their own message in their story, which was really nice because you can relate then with them, how you go through your personal experiences and learn something when you come out of it. So it was great.
Correct. That's true. That's true. And Banashri, this was your first meeting, right, as a Toastmasters?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I like the way you kept a timer, the clock, big clock in the background. It was very
I'm trying to learn how to do that, How do you do that?
You manage the role very well. We never noticed you are doing.
I made a couple of mistakes. I know about it. I'm really sorry. But the time calculation was right.
We never noticed.
How do we change the background? How do we change the
I'll
background?
make a separate session on that.
Okay, because I've been trying to learn that, because I see people on very,
Happy, it's a
I'll
tricky
take a
thing.
session on
Sometimes
that.
when you use virtual background, like Banashri is looking nice. Sometimes when we use background, you are basically half. Like it's like, you are virtually in cloud and, your picture is not very clear. Like I've seen in pictures, it happens. Like I tried also with my virtual background and it becomes like this, if I show you now. Like
And
this.
I think you have to adjust the space between you and camera, the distance.
No, I'm like very close to camera now, like,
You're
even,
almost like a, ghost impression coming from the books and coming back.
No, for that, Ashish, you have to uncheck the I have green screen. So there is a tab, Ashish. You have to uncheck that I have a green screen. Just tap. Uncheck that.
Okay, check.
See,
Okay.
it's better. Now you try any still.
So when I uncheck it, it says computer does not meet requirements.
I don't
So anything I try, I don't know what's wrong with my camera. I become like ghost. I know my kids, when they are not able to sleep, I use this now.
So Happy, if you want to go to that stop video, there is a button at the left bottom, stop video. There is an arrow. So there you can see that choose virtual background. From there you can select.
Oh, I saw that virtual background, so I'm just trying to find it out.
Yeah.
But there is nothing. So how do you choose the background? There's no background.
There is a prompt.
You have to download some.
There is a plus sign, no?
You have to download one screen that you want at the back. Once you have downloaded, you save it under one folder. Then this top video where the video's icon is there. When you click, it says virtual background.
Yeah.
Right? There's an option called virtual. When you go inside the virtual background, there you have to go and there's a small plus sign if you see.
Yes.
Which is on the right hand side. You add that downloaded screen in clicking on that.
Okay. So where do you download this virtual background? Sorry, I'm a very...
That you can download from the Google.
Oh, okay. All right. Anything.
Suppose, so you once it is downloaded, you add that, and the moment you click, that the mistake I made that once suddenly I had just clicked and it became red. It was not intended to be red.
Okay.
So that's how, yes. So that's how it appears as your virtual screen.
All right.
DTM Rizwan, are you still there?
Right now I'm with Devina's.
DTM Rizwan.
Devina took me to this place last night, last meeting.
Nice background.
Yes.
Wait, you are using Banashri virtual background, right?
Manishri is using Devina's last spoken topic.